It will be South Dakota ball to start the second quarter, still moving from left to right as you see it on your radio dial. Glad you're with us here in South Dakota on a Saturday night. Grace Larkins gets the ball inside. Now it's fumbled away by Duffney, and Nebraska's going to get a turnover here to start the second quarter. Pass ahead Moriarty, thought about the three, now gives it off to Markowski, who will take the three, and she'll drain it.
Threes are coming in bunches today for Nebraska.
Already over 30 points. We've played just about 10 minutes in this game for Nebraska. South Dakota in the front court now. Duffney sends it across. Ball movement into the corner for Larkins. Larkins drop steps, now spins inside. Left-hand layup off the window and good. Grace Larkins on the board here in the second.
She is just such a tough offensive player to go against.
Nebraska offensive front court. Natalie Potts with the ball, top of the key. Moriarty, right wing. Now driving baseline, wide open. She puts it up, and she is fouled. 2 free throws coming up for Kendall Moriarty. It'll be the second foul on Olivia Kiefer in the first here in the quarter.
A lot of contact on that drive. Moriarty hit the floor pretty hard as she drove right into Kiefer. You kind of heard the collapse to this hardwood at Heritage Court in Sanford, Pentagon.
First free throw for Moriarty is good. She hit a three back in the first quarter. 33-20. Second free throw rattles around and eventually finds the bottom of the basket. 34-20, Nebraska up by 14. Just under a minute gone here in the first quarter. Larkins driving, now kicks it top for Hempy. Looking inside, now goes top to Duffney. Cross-court pass over to Mason. And now top of the key, Larkin thought about the shot. Now she'll dribble it out, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Larkins working against Moriarty, 5 on the clock, 4. Larkins kick out, three-pointer on the way. South Dakota desperation misses everything. Rebound hauled in by Logan Nisley. Nisley pushing tempo. Britt Prince squares up, now kicks top Markowski. She'll take another three, top of the key. You got it! Back-to-back threes from Markowski on offense. 37-20. 2 minutes gone here in the second quarter. It's a shootout in Sioux Falls. Up top of the key, Kiefer. Looking inside. Available is Larkins. Gets the ball. Now will take a three ball and misses. Rebound hauled in by Moriarty. Britt Prince pushing tempo. Logan Nisley, left side wing. And it's nearly tipped away. Ball on the floor. Who will get it? It will end up being nobody. Still loose and eventually hauled in by South Dakota. Thought maybe for a second they'd call a jump ball, but we play on. Larkins brings it across the timeline. Kicks out. Three for Kiefer on the way. Rattles off the front of the iron. And rebounded by Markowski. Prince up the middle of the floor. Kicks it out to Nisley. Top of the key, Markowski. Now swinging it around to Moriarty. Surveying the landscape. Britt Prince, three-pointer on the way from distance, and she got it. It took her 4 games to hit her first, and now she has 2. And a timeout going to be called by South Dakota. Nebraska up by 20 with just under 3 minutes gone in the second.
Yeah, Nebraska's offense firing on all cylinders right now. They've hit 8 of the 13 threes that they have chucked at the goal tonight. It's all fallen through the net for the Big Red here in Sioux Falls.
Media timeout on the floor as well. We'll take it with them. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to women's college basketball on 90.3 KRNU. Welcome back inside a sold-out Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And Nebraska leading 40-20 on the neutral floor. 7:14 left to go before halftime. And a big reason for that has been the three ball.
The three ball has been dropping with immense efficiency for Nebraska. They're 8 of 13 from downtown. That's good for 61.5%. Nebraska, they're not going to hit like that all season, but on any given night when they can shoot like that, they will be able to compete with any team in the country.
A timeout called by Carrie Amy, who has some ties to the state of Nebraska, spent her first bit of her coaching career in Hastings. She was a Hastings grad, coached at Hastings, coached at University of Nebraska-Kearney, went down to Kansas to Fort Hays State, had a stop in Idaho very quickly, and now she is the head coach in her first season here with South Dakota. Amy Williams, of course, South Dakota native, Nebraska graduate, went to UNK, so those two coaches share a common coaching place, went to South Dakota, won a WNIT. Now she's here at Nebraska. We're back playing, and South Dakota's Grace Larkins brings it across the timeline, down by 20 in what feels like so early in this game. Larkins nearly double dribbled. She's caught up underneath, gets the ball tipped. Amaya Hargrove's in the game now for Nebraska. She's defending. A 3-ball for Larkins, who was in the corner unguarded, and she gets it.
Yeah, South Dakota really needs Larkins to turn the heat up right now.
Markowski, top of the key, to Prince, left side. Wide open baseline, drives, left hand, finish. Britt Prince, new career high already, and it keeps growing, 42-23 Nebraska. 1-2, over to first, Chard, bobbles again, and the ball gets away. One run is home. A fourth error committed by Minnesota in the inning, and Nebraska's on the board.
My goodness. The mental blockade for Cameron Chard is just continuing to snowball as she bobbled that 2 or 3 times. There's one, there's two. And Kamenzen is able to get to first base, and gotta remember that Chard is only a freshman, and the moment getting a little bit too bright for her multiple times, and once again, Minnesota could have been out of the inning now 3 times.
Kamenzen takes second, no throw. 3 errors in the inning on Cameron Chard. And now Ava Breadwell back to the plate for the second time.
And as you mentioned, 4 errors in the inning as a whole.
Minnesota. 0-1 pitch. Holding up Breadwell. Did she go? No appeal. It's 1-1. Now we will get an appeal. No swing, says Susan Eads.
As I was just about to mention, Minnesota's lucky that it's only 2-1. It could be a lot worse for them right now.
Breadwell lines one foul into the Gopher bullpen. And the count 1-2. A strike away is Sousa.
Sousa's pitch count getting a little bit up there. Already up to 25. There you see Breadwell 1 for 1 on the day already. She can't put it over the fence. Last year she had 8 of them.
1-2. Foul. We'll do it again. Breadwell singled back in the second inning, was stranded at third after stealing second. With a prime opportunity to tie or take the lead in this game for the Huskers.
The 2 runners on. The gaps are a little bit wide right now. The outfield is playing in just a little bit, about normal depth now.
1-2 liner up the middle. This will score at least 1. Rounding the bag is Kamenzen on the way. Play at the plate. She is safe. Ava Breadwell stands at second. And Nebraska has flipped the tables in their favor. It's 3-2.
Breadwell takes this one on the outside corner and rips it back up the middle. Doesn't try to do too much with it. On a pitch like that, you really want to try and take it to right field, but Breadwell is able to get the hands extended and keeps it in the center field. Nebraska really trying to test that arm of Breezy Burnett. It was a real strong throw, but ultimately it doesn't matter as both runs score for the Huskers. They got the lead.
Bland takes a ball, score it a single, and then advancing to second on the throw for Ava Breadwell as she continues to turn her season around.
Yeah,
improved her batting average by 20 points in the last 2 games.
It's a real rough start for Breadwell to begin the season, and now she's finally coming back to form after a huge year last year. She was made 3rd team All-Midwest. Last year was part of the All-Freshman team back in 2022.
2-0 to Bland. Foul, watch out down there down the line. Nebraska's first base coach getting out of the way.
That's a scary thought.
Bland walked in the second, batting .244. Has a runner in scoring position in Breadwell, who has some wheels, depending on the location of the pitch. 3-2, Nebraska scored all 3 runs in this inning after giving up a leadoff home run to Taylor Kraft in the top.
Liner back up the middle over the second base bag. Here comes Bredwell around third. The throw home, the play at the plate. Bredwell scores standing up. And Samantha Bland heads on to second. It's 4-2 Nebraska.
Well, thank you, Parker and Hayden. It was indeed a long weekend for Husker athletics, with most of the action ending favorably for Nebraska. We begin on the hardwood as both the men's and women's basketball teams held exhibition games. Nebraska men's hoops was in action Sunday in their final exhibition before the regular season begins in less than a week. For the Huskers, the new kids on the block made a big impact in the outcome of the contest. The mayor and his 6th year as head coach, here we go. Midway through the first half, Bryce Williams dumps it off to Gavin Griffiths, who hits the corner three. The Rutgers transfer, Nebraska up by 3. Later in the half, Kale Jacobson to Berke Beyuktenzel, who fakes, spins, and finishes at the rim. Nebraska up 35-30 at the half. Another transfer had himself a day. Former Ute Raleigh Wooster finishes the lay-in. Nebraska pulling away 40-32. How about one more new face getting involved as Washington transfer Braxton Mia rolls one over the front of the rim. Nebraska heats up in the second half and earns an exhibition victory 73-53. The Cornhuskers open their season at home on Monday against Texas Rio Grande Valley. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The number 23 Husker women hosted Doane College for their exhibition contest. Naismith Trophy watch list senior Alexis Markowski led all scorers with 16 points. Britt Prince, the Elkhorn North product, dropped 12 points in her Husker debut, going a perfect 8 from 8 from the charity stripe. For Doane, Beatrice native Mac Hatcliffe scored 15, while also cashing in all of her free throw attempts. Doane will begin their season at home on November 6th against Peru State College, while Nebraska will kick off their 2024-2025 campaign on November 4th as they take on Omaha at noon following their annual Life Skills Pep Rally. Despite being a major underdog against Ohio State, the Huskers had their chances to win the contest late in the fourth quarter. Nebraska led Ohio State in multiple categories, including nearly double the rush yards and almost 10 more minutes of possession. Each team had only one turnover, and one of the biggest storylines of the day was the penalties, Nebraska being called for 7, costing them 62 yards, while Ohio State was called for only 3 penalties, including a targeting personal foul. The questionable officiating continued as Husker running back Emmett Johnson was denied a first down after appearing to pass the line to gain. The Big Ten Chief Operating Officer Kerry Kenny released a statement about the issue, saying, quote, "The ball carrier crossed the 37-yard line and a first down should have been awarded to Nebraska. Replay should have stopped the game to review the spot since it involved the line to gain." Following the game, Nebraska Nightly Sports Director Trey Marler broke down another one-score loss and near upset for Nebraska from the Horseshoe in Columbus, Ohio.
Huskers came into the Horseshoe and gave the number 4 team in the country. From Columbus, Ohio, Trey Marler, Nebraska Nightly Sports.
Nebraska volleyball had 2 successful Big Ten contests on the Terraflex this weekend. On Saturday, they took on the Maize and Blue of Michigan, looking to improve to 10-0 in the Big Ten. Inside the rocking Bob Devaney Sports Center we go. First set needed extra points. Michigan with the advantage. Back set from Morgan Burke, and Valentina Vallette finishes the set 28-26. Second set now. Nebraska looking to get back on track. Harper Murray from the back row terminates on one of her 17 kills on the day. Nebraska ties it at 1 set apiece. In the third, Nebraska defense is going to come alive as Taylor Landfair and Rebecca Alec pair up for a monster block. Nebraska takes the third set in commanding fashion, 25-11. Into the fourth, Huskers trying to close it out. Merritt Beeson off the free ball, perfect pass to Bergen Riley, receives and puts it right back down for the match point kill. Huskers take their 10th Big Ten win to remain undefeated in conference play. They also tallied their 20th win overall. Nebraska begins a long road stint this weekend as they'll take on Wisconsin and Northwestern before heading west. And finally tonight is Game 4 of the 2024 World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees. After taking the first 2 games in LA, the Dodgers dominated last night, taking a shutout into the 9th inning of Game 3, ultimately winning 4-2. Game 4 will be tonight in the Bronx, the Yankees with their backs against the wall. For the Dodgers, the bullpen will try and secure Game 4, and for the Yankees, Luis Gil will be on the bump trying to extend the season by 1 more game. You see the remaining schedule on your screen, as all games are if necessary. Should the Yankees win tonight, another contest will be held in New York before the teams would head back to Los Angeles for a potential Game 6 and 7. You can tune into Game 4 tonight at 7 p.m. on Fox. And guys, an interesting nugget about postseason baseball, there's only one team that has ever come back from 3 down, and that was the Boston Red Sox in 2004 in the American League Championship Series. There's never been anyone to do it in the World Series.